Hello everyone. Since we don't have class today, so let me go over chapter 5 a little bit for you. For chapter 5 we talk about time value of money. The money will have different values over time, okay, because of the interest rate. So let me draw this for you. At the beginning, okay, you have present value, which is PV. At time t in the future, you have future value, okay, at time t. And for every year, assume that you earn the interest rate % per year. Okay. So the next question would be, if you know the present value, how would you calculate the future value? Okay. Now there are two types of interest. One is simple interest. Okay. What is a simple interest? It simply means that the interest rate for each year is based on the original principal. For example, okay, for example you invest $1,000 today, and the interest rate is simple, and every year you earn 5%. Okay, so what it means is 5% for the first year you will earn 5% of the original principal, which is $1,000, so it is $50. Okay, for the second year you earn the same $50 because the interest rate is based on $1,000. So what it means is after 1 year you will have $1,050, and after the second year you have $1,100. Okay, so that is a simple interest. However, in most of the times the interest rate will be compounded. If the interest rate is compounded, the interest rate for each year is based on the beginning of the year principal, okay, not based on the original principal. For example, okay, the same example we had before, you invest $1,000 today, okay, after 1 year, and the interest rate is 5%, okay, it is 1,000, okay, times 1.05, and this is equal to 1050. Okay, so after 1 year you get the same 1050, but after the second year, because you earn 5% again on the second year, okay, so 1050 will become 1050 times 1.05 and equal to 1102 and 5. Okay, so if the interest rate is compounded, at the end of the 2 years you will get 1102.5. Now let's take a look at 1102.5. Okay, what does it include? First, it includes $1,000 principal. Okay, that is the original principal. Okay, now it includes $50 simple interest for the first year. Okay, includes $50 simple interest for the second year, and very important thing, which is $2.5. What is this? This is the interest on interest. Where is it coming from? Because it's coming from the interest on the $50 in the first year. Okay, in the first year you receive $50 interest, so that $50 interest will be reinvested in the second year to earn interest, and you get $2.5 over here, which is interest on interest. Okay, so obviously when the interest rate is compounded, the future value will be higher than the future value if the interest rate is simple. Okay, and from now on, here is a formula for you to calculate the the future value. If the interest rate is compounded, the future value is equal to present value times 1 plus the interest rate raised to the power time. And if the interest is simple, okay, the future value is simply equal to the original principal plus, okay, the interest rate, then plus the simple interest for every year. So if you have t years times the original principal, which is the present value, times the interest rate for each year. Okay, so this is the future value if the interest is simple. Alright, let's take a look at the example here. suppose that you deposit $10 at 5%, 5.5% interest 200 years ago. How much would the investment be worth today, and what is the effect of compounding? Alright, so let's take a look at the simple interest. Okay, if the interest is simple, you deposit 200 years ago. Okay, so time zero is the present value. You have $10 after 200 years. How much is the future value for 200 years? Okay, after 200 years, if the interest rate for every year is 5.5%. Okay, so if the interest is simple, very simple, the future value simply equal to the original principal, okay, plus the number of years, which is 200 times the original principal, which is 10, times the interest rate per year, which is 0.055, and this is equal to only $120. So if the interest is simple, after 200 years, from $10 you get only $120. However, if the interest is compounded, compound interest, after 200 years you will get from $10, multiplied by 1 plus 0.055 raised to the power 200, and this is equal to 447,189.84. Okay, so there is huge difference between the future value if the interest is compounded and the future value if the interest is simple. So the question will be, why there is a huge difference between the two? So we know that the difference between the future value if the interest is simple and the future value if the interest is compounded is the interest on the interest. Okay, so you can easily get the interest on the interest equal to 44. Now this is 447. 447,189. Okay, so the interest on the interest would be equal to 447,189.84. Minus 120. And equal to 447. 069.84. So you can see if the number of years is very large, the interest and on interest will be huge. Now, so you know how to calculate the future value based on the present value. Now we go the other way. If given future value, how do you calculate present value? So if you know future value at time t, how much should be the present value? Now assuming the interest rate is compounded, in practice, you will see the interest rate will always be compounded. So if it is compounded, the present value is simple. It is equal to the future value divided by 1 plus the interest rate raised to the power time, t. For example, if you have suppose you need $10,000. Suppose you need $10,000 for 1 year. Suppose you need $10,000 for 1 year, and the interest rate for the year is 7%. How much you need to deposit or you need to invest today? So the present value simply equal future value, which is $10,000, divided by 1 plus the interest, which is 7%, 07 raised to the power time, which is 1, and equal to 9,345.79. So what it means is you need to invest $9,345.79 today, and with the interest 7%, you will get $10,000 in 1 year. Okay. Now, after that, okay, after that, if you are given, okay, if you are given present value, okay, and you are given future value, the question is, how do you calculate the interest? Okay, how do you calculate the interest rate? So from the formula we have before, okay, from the formula we have before, the future value, okay, from the future value equal to present value times 1 plus the interest rate raised to the power time, you can easily get the interest rate equal to the future value divided by the present value raised to the power 1 over time and minus 1, the whole thing minus 1. Okay, so that is the formula to get the, okay, that is the formula to get the interest rate. For example, okay, for example, if you you are looking at an investment that will pay $1,200 in 5 years, okay, if you invest $1,000 today. So the question is, what is the interest rate? Okay, what is the interest rate per year? So very simple, the interest rate per year is equal to future value, which is $1,200, divided by present value, which is $1,000, the whole thing raised to the power time, which is 1 over time, which is 1 over 5, and minus 1, and equal to 3.714%. Okay, so what it means is, if you deposit $1,000 today and the interest is 3.714% per year, after 5 years you will get $1,200. Okay, so very simple. Next time in class I will show you how to use a calculator, financial calculator, to do that. For this, for this problem, it is so simple that you don't even need a financial calculator. But in the in chapter 6 and the chapters after chapter 6, it is very important that you need to know how to use financial calculator. So we can start. I will show you how to use financial calculator with this simple example, so you know how to do that for the following chapters. Finally, if you are given, okay, finally, if you are given the present value, you are given the future value, okay, and you are given the interest rate per year, a percent. The question is, how do you calculate how many years? Okay, the number of years. Alright, so okay, start with the formula. Okay, the original formula, the future value is equal to present value times 1 plus the interest raised to the power time, and you can easily get the time equal to the natural log of future value over present value, okay, divided by, okay, the whole thing divided by the natural log of 1 plus the interest. Okay, so that is the formula to calculate the number of years. For example, you want to buy, okay, for example, you want to buy a new car and you are willing to pay $20,000. So $20,000 is the present value. Okay, no, sorry, you are going to buy a new car, okay, in the future, and currently you have $15,000, so the present value is $15,000, and in order for you to buy a new car you need to have $20,000. So you know that you can Alright, you can deposit $15,000 in the saving account that will pay you 10% interest rate every year. Okay, so the question is how long it takes for you to have enough $20,000 to buy the car. So very simple. The number of years is equal to the natural log ln of the future value 20,000 divided by present value 15,000, okay, over the natural log of 1 plus the interest rate, which is 0.1, okay, and this would give you the number of years equal to 3.02. alright, and this is equal to 3.02 years. So what it means is, if you invest or if you deposit $15,000 today in a saving account that pays 10% per year, after 3.02 years you will get $20,000 and you will be able to buy the car. Okay, so chapter 5 is pretty simple, and I will go over some sample questions for chapter 5 so you can practice and then do the homework. Okay, alright, I will be making another video lecture for chapter 5. Alright, thank you very much.